On. Welcome everybody to tonight's show. It's me and Belial.
Hello, hello.
We're just gonna wait a couple minutes oop, just to see if anybody pops in before we start.
No, no problem. But yeah, it's an interesting subject. We're just going through updates with Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that kind of made me want to talk about it is also like I've watched a lot of his fans make like streams. I've seen like really, really interesting people actually just like go with crazy conspiracies like the Romanian government is trying to catch him, or the world's government doesn't like Andrew Tate and what he's saying, or some other things. The least crazy ones is like, well, maybe the women are lying, whatever.
Every
Um,
time. I mean, it's repetitive though.
yeah. And then now, like with more and more information's coming out on the charges, now
Mm-hmm.
there's some people saying, well, it's not sex trafficking. And yeah, I figure the lawyer's explaining it and going through the lawyer and reading what the lover boy method is and how this is kind of how Andrew Tate's kind of messed himself up. Really,
It's
kind of from
really
that.
cringy. But yeah, I guess I'll just say it now,
Yeah,
and
you
then we
say it
can
now.
start off. Um, I'm so sorry for the days being mixed up, and they're not really being mixed up. We're just moving them around a little bit. My father is sick right now, and he's number one in my life. So so there might be some days where we're gonna, Mondays could be to Tuesdays, but we'll always post it in the community tab. So always keep an eye on it. Everything is fine. I am okay. It's just taking care of my father. It's going to be a rough year, but we're good. I don't want to get into details, but I wanted to let everybody know since it's been, about a month or so with changing the schedule around. But yeah, we can get into Andrew Tate now.
Yeah. And for those who are watching, thank you, and those who will log in, thank you. But basically, he's in custody. I believe he's just been. He left the Romanian court in handcuffs recently. He's getting his
Mm,
stuff confiscated. A lot of people have been their ideas that this guy has been split. Some people believe that he doesn't deserve to be arrested for this. That this is somehow people are coming after him because what he says. Others are like, well, I mean, he kind of dry snitched on himself multiple times.
mm,
The good question, there's a majority of people
mm,
who are basically like, let's wait until the charges. He's still a suspect, jumping up and claiming that he's some sort of sex trafficker without an actual trial is not a good thing. And I get those opinions, but
Is that his only charge is sex trafficking, or is there more to it
there's a
than just
few.
that? Okay.
If you go, I'm reading like from Twitter a Romanian translated transcript.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. Okay, so transcript from the Tate brothers file the two alleged forced victims to wear their tattoos. I mean, he's got me just. I gotta look. You know what?
I mean, he's openly admitted before that the lover boy tactic is to basically get women, make them completely dependent on you for them to do whatever they want, and they work for you
Okay,
type deal. You know what I
so
mean?
he's accused of organized crime, human trafficking, and sexual assault.
And this is via France, right?
No, this is via Bucharest, Romania.
Okay. Okay, because what was the whole situation with the boyfriend in France and the girl?
Well, what happened was is that the one of the people who were making the allegations in the
Mm-hmm.
sex trafficking, I believe her boyfriend
Yeah.
reported. She called up her boyfriend, and the boyfriend reported that she was being held.
At the embassy, I think.
Yeah, at the embassy that she was being held against her will, and that's why they initially came there.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Hey,
believe
burden of proof.
how you doing, Burn Proof? And I believe that it's continue. And then there's other people that have come forward as well. So it's a kind of a developing story. So I figured we just
Yeah.
go with this lawyer analyzing why he would have a very bad, like why there's a real possibility that he has committed
Oh, yeah.
sex trafficking and that he kind of self snitched on himself.
Hey,
And
grandma.
hi, Grandma Sherry. And it's a very interesting look through because this guy's a criminal defense lawyer. So I mean, me saying it really do anything, but an actual famous criminal defense lawyer looking through the videos of Andrew Tate and puts them together like a 30-minute video. And we're going to watch and we're going to react, obviously. All credit goes to this guy, this YouTube channel. It's called CLR Bruce Rivers. I like the channel. I like watching like lawyers react to content, especially criminal lawyers. Hi, burn approved. And I find it very interesting. But yeah, I think it's very informative to watch videos like this because a lot of Andrew Tate's fans are this delusional, like they don't quite understand what sex trafficking is. And I think it'd be a good idea for them to listen to a criminal defense attorney explain and break down how Andrew Tate got into the situation. So we'll play it. I'm ready. I'm playing it now, Tony.
Okay.
And I told you that Andrew Tate is going to be on the police blotter. So I wouldn't be surprised if down the line, guess who we see on the blotter? We see Mr. Tate. I knew he was. And it's not just because I don't like him. It has nothing to do with whether I like him or dislike him. This is a legal analysis show, right? I mean, that's the thrust of it. And one of the things I talk about is self-stitching, right? And so one of the things that I was trying to comment on is that there's a treasure trove of stuff that he's put out there to show that he is probably guilty of the crimes that they're talking about. And all the stuff that he's put out there can be used against him, not taken out of context. So what is he charged with? He's charged with sex trafficking. And I would venture to bet that maybe even some tax stuff might come down the pike. We'll talk about that a little bit more.
Oh,
sex trafficking, there's unless you're dealing with underage, when we don't have any evidence that anybody's underage. But we have three things: force, fraud, or coercion. Force, obviously, that's like being in chains and not being allowed to leave. Fraud, being kept there under false pretenses. If there's an element of fraud in the way that you are enticing somebody or keeping somebody in a particular position to work for you, and if it's in the sex business, that's sex trafficking. Or coercion, threat of harm or some other way to limit your movement. And so let's kind of look at one of his very first videos that he did. These are his words, not my words. And I'm going to play it, and I'm not going to take it out of context. We'll play this. Let's just make sure I'm not taking things out of context.
When you say webcam company, people assume, oh, it's just a sex event.
Oh, and he's playing a video that he's playing a video that Andrew Tate, filmed earlier on in his career to advertise how to make money using cam girls and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting, and you'll see why he uses this stuff and why Andrew Tate might have gotten himself in trouble admitting to multiple crimes or alleged crimes on the internet.
But in reality, it's a shitload of people management. The HR category of the webcam business is the largest and most important thing. You're effectively taking girls, teaching them how to make unlimited money from home, and then making sure they give all to you.
So you're making sure that you're teaching girls how to make a shit ton of money and give it all to you. Now, this is one of his first instructional videos. A lot of guys, he's got a lot of fans. And a lot of guys think, oh, in order to have some wealth, you have to have a Bugatti, you have to do this, you have to do that. In order to have wealth, you have to have self-pride. You have to know who you are as a person. And where do you get that from? You get that from building, as I've always said. So I do two things. I like to be motivation for younger guys and women for that matter, who are looking at maybe a possible direction in their career. So I like to motivate people in a very positive way. But the other thing I do is I do offer a legal analysis of what's going on here. Right off the bat, he tells you that his main goal is to have them work for him and him get all the money.
And does that sound like an honorable person to you? Does Andrew Tate sound like an honorable person where he's basically, his whole motivation is to not only bring women into this business, but to take their hard-earned money and pocket it himself as much, even defrauding women, as we're going to find out later on? What do you think, Tony?
Oh, wait, hold on. Tony, can you fart, please? I need to hear Bilal laugh.
Oh, no.
No, I do not have one in me, but when I do, you all will be surprised.
Listen, that was quite an interesting night. Sounds like...
Yeah, he is a douchebag. Not Bilal.
Oh, shit. This was going to be the end of our stream. Yeah, I get what you mean. I know. But yeah, I mean, like he goes, you're going to hear, like, the way that he goes about it, and it really goes into this, like, it changes your whole dynamic of sex trafficking. I know this is going to be completely demonetized, or well, it's not monetized anyway, but completely sent off the algorithm because we're going to be using sex trafficking word a lot, and YouTube doesn't like that. But it's not just like forcefully holding someone captive, but it also goes to fraud. It also goes to coercion. Like, it goes into these ideas that you're tricking women, and then you're lying to them to keep their money, and then you're doing all this stuff, this shady stuff, and then you present yourself as an honorable man. You go on these channels like entertainment, which is like a business-oriented channel, and you try to say like you're bringing back like being an honorable man and being respected. I'm not going to respect a man who defrauds women and steals their money. I'm sorry. I mean, like, I'd rather work at McDonald's than defraud women, defraud people of their hard-earned money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, this is the thing too. He has the charisma to open up, like he could go to Nevada or something like that and open up like a bunny ranch.
Well,
And as long as he's respectful to women and not stealing from them and not essaying them, then
but
he could have
those are
he could have Heidi Fleissed the shit
yeah.
out of things.
But the difference is, if you go to the bunny branch, that guy runs his business legitimately. He pays his taxes. He pays those girls a wage. They get a large split of the money.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree with the concept of prostitution or anything, you have to, you know what I mean? And he runs his business legitimately. He's not.
Those girls are taken care of. They're
Yeah.
protected.
This guy is not running his business legitimately. He's sleeping with his employees. He's lying about like taxes. He's doing all that. We're going to find out. We'll continue.
Webcam studios everywhere. There's one webcam studio down the road called Studio 20 with 100 rooms. 100 rooms, 8-hour shifts, 3 girls a day. That's 300 girls a day working, and they all work on LiveGasm. So if you're going to go on LiveGasm, you're going to be competing with big-time guys. And what you want to be competing with is people at home in their bedrooms. You don't want to be competing with serious businessmen, because I know for a fact, Studio 20, the owner of Studio 20 and the owner of the website itself, LiveGasm, are friends, and they've got some kind of backhander agreement. So all the Studio 20 girls appear high on the webpage. They appear at the top of the page. Obviously, if you're going to go on there, you don't want to scroll down 10 pages to find a girl. You're going to go to the girls in the first row. All his girls appear high up because he's giving the guy a backhand. It's all this shady business. It's a huge competition market.
So you can see his main thrust is just making money.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit how he does it, really. He's going to tell you in a second here the origin of the story. And he's repeated these same concepts through multiple interviews, right? And so when you say I'm taking things out of context,
He's not taking things out of context.
We've sourced this and sourced this and sourced this, and he's repeated it multiple times. It is something when you hear who he wants to compete. He doesn't want to compete with the main factories. He wants to compete with the girls that are at home. So it that gives you an indication that he's going. It's like in nature, I suppose. It's you go after the weakest.
Now, I've told very shortly my story, how I kind of started my whole webcam business. I'll tell it again in detail here. I was fighting. I had some money. I had 70,000 pounds in a safe in my.
One of our viewers indicated that he's gotten most of his money from fighting.
That's not true.
70 grand.
No.
70,000 euros.
And he lost 30 of it.
And that was it.
Bedroom in my house. I wanted to buy property in Thailand and move to Thailand. I needed 80,000. I was 10 grand short. And I thought I'd go to the casino and make the 10.
That's also telling me, hey, I'm going to go to the casino and try to make money when he's not even a gambler. You guys, stay away from the casino. There's a reason that they're so big.
Which was obviously, we all know how that story went. So I lost 30. So now I need 40. I needed it quickly. So I was sitting there trying to find a way to make money. So how can I make money? And what I did was I said to Tristan, I'm literally not leaving my room until I have a way for us to make more money, because I can only fight so many times per year and I know their income. So I got a pen and paper and I was on YouTube, like researching, how people make money, what millionaires have, and they kept talking about assets. I was thinking, what assets do I have? I'm trying to buy a property. I mean, I didn't own a property in the UK.
Now, think about the word asset. What is an asset? Well,
Property.
I suppose this hat is an asset. It's not worth much.
Property is an asset.
It's really the brand is worth a lot more than the hat is.
I'm an
But what is an
asset.
asset? The office, the building,
Yeah.
Your brand. Those are assets. Things that you own are assets.
Times I didn't pay any tax to anyone. I didn't want to pay taxes, so I didn't buy a house to live from me. So I was like, what?
Keep in mind, keep that tax theme.
Yeah, keep that in mind. Him not
See,
wanting to pay taxes and admitting it on a live
Yeah.
stream.
This is the thing. He's his own worst. Like, I feel like if Andrew Tate shut the fuck up,
Oh yeah.
he wouldn't be. See, that's his biggest thing, is he likes to flaunt it. He's a grade A narcissist.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The guy is a narcissist. But keep that in mind about the taxes and the property thing.
In the back of your head.
Assets do I have? Okay, I have a car. I have this, I have that. And then I realized I had about 5 girlfriends, all smoking hot. And females are an asset.
Jesus Christ.
Females are an asset. You
I'm an
heard it
asset.
here.
I'm an asset and Belisle's an asshat. So
Okay.
we complement each other very well. Wait, hold on. Grandma, he's a snake. So, yes, you don't treat women like property. Period. I don't care who you are.
He also, you're going to find out later on, I don't know if it's covered in this video, maybe another video, where he he tells all the women that are employed by him to have a tattoo on them that said "owned by Tate" or something like that.
What was that cult? Do you remember that cult that ex-Hollywood actor was in, and the
I know what you're
actress?
talking about, like the Smallville TV show. She's
Yeah,
like,
and she got the tattoo branded on her in the most barbaric way.
yeah, but let's continue.
Oh, these people.
Attractive females are absolutely an asset. And if you disagree with me,
Oh wait, we gotta.
I
Oh
realize
wait,
I
I
have
have to
five
be
girlfriends.
attractive.
Yeah, we gotta look at that guy's face. I want to see.
Asset's
something.
not worth much, but it's really the brand is worth a lot more than the hat is. Own our assets.
Times I didn't pay any tax to anyone. I didn't want to pay taxes, so I didn't buy a house to confirm. So I was like, what?
Keep in mind.
This, like that. And then I realized I had about 5 girlfriends, all smoking hot. And females are an asset.
That's how we all look right now. Like, this guy. It's so stupid.
This guy, it's like
And-
that
and-
look. Like,
And this is the shitty part too. There's a lot of women out there that want an Andrew Tate, and I'm kind of like, why do you want to hurt yourself? That's basically what you're doing, is getting a jerk. Like,
well, it's the
it's-
lover boy method. It's
Yeah.
the lover boy method.
Attractive females are absolutely an asset. And if you disagree with me, walk in the club with 10 blondes, and you'll see who the most important guy in the club is. Fuck the champagne shows.
Who the fuck cares who the most important guy in the club is?
I don't like
The
blondes.
most insecure guy in the club. It's important to that guy.
Yeah,
That's not.
It
That's
should
not
never be
true.
important to you to be the most important guy in the club. What should be important to you is the people around you having their respect, but having their respect because
Yes, Grandma.
because you're walking in there with 12 blondes.
I've walked into
yeah. It's about respect from like legitimate
Mm-hmm.
people.
And Grandma Sherry is right. That's the NXVIM
Yeah.
cult. That was horrible. Just
Yeah.
horrible.
I mean, it's like that's the problem. Like this guy is trying to get approval from everyone because he's trying to bamboozle them out of money. The whole idea of Andrew Tate, and I love this freeze frame of Andrew Tate, just like kind of like duh on his face. But by the way,
He
I
looks
didn't do
so
that.
safe.
Yeah, I didn't do that on purpose. Actually, that was an accident. But like this concept of like his business model is to create a cam business in which he uses women. He's not only defrauding the women of their pay, kind of by lying to them, which you're going to later hear, but he also, in articles I've read, he's actually like made these women lie to the men that they're talking to that they're going to move to them, and they drain the bank accounts of the men. And this is the man that people are looking up to as a business person, and he still does the same business. He does it a little bit differently. He does still the whole cam business thing, and he does still defrauding people of their money by like telling these women that they're going to be with them, like with these lonely men. But he also defrauds people with his financial tools. I shouldn't use defraud. I would say he fucks over. He doesn't provide the actual information you need to make money. I remember I watched this YouTuber that actually used Andrew Tate's method of drop shipping, and he after a week made $0. $0. It didn't teach him anything. All the information that he learned, he could have picked up on YouTube, and it wasn't good. And it's like this guy is like he wants people to believe and be respected, but all you've done is burnt bridges and basically taken money from other people and never provided a service for them. You are not providing a service for your education when it comes to finances. You're not providing a service for the women, really. And you're not providing a service for the men who you are. You know, you're supposed to be an example of young men, but yet you're feeding into the problem which young men are experiencing, which is porn addiction. If you're so much like people are so much into porn addiction, you're feeding into it. That's the one thing you're.
He's
claiming
basically
you're
the
fighting.
dealer. He's
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
That's
and
like-
Burden. Real quick, Burden. I know shots fired. I do like blondes.
Oh shit!
I do like blondes, but if you could build your perfect female, it
Hi,
would
Johnson.
probably, hey Joneson, I just
that
have a different preference. Like my ex-wife was blonde, if that says anything.
Okay, stop backpedaling. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Joneson, what's up, Joneson? The Tootin conspiracy continues. But anyway, we're just talking about Andrew Tate, and this lawyer's going through the like all the back things that kind of hurt Andrew Tate's position that he is fighting against in court.
club with 10 girls. These guys
Grandma
must be champagne shows.
Sherry. Grandma Sherry, get it. There you go.
Look at their table or my table. I don't give a fuck about their table. Pussy is the most important driving force of this planet. Pussy is the only reason that empires were started and wars were waged. It's the only reason all you guys are out there are even interested in having money. If there was no pussy about, you wouldn't care about having money. You say, oh, I'll have a little bit of money. And I'll just
Yeah, every war we've had
Only reason
is because of vagina.
I mean, it wasn't because like the Civil War was to liberate black people from being
Yeah.
slaves. It wasn't because we wanted to stop, Hitler from murdering and genociding whole races of people. Because
Not everything is like Helen of Troy. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
I mean, like it wasn't because of the War of 1812 of a misunderstanding, like of basically piracy and what they were doing. It's not anything like that. I mean, come on, I'll play it one moment.
we want cars and clothes and six packs and houses and shit. It's for girls.
That is so simplistic.
Girls are the driving force. So when I realized I had all these assets, I had to find a way to monetize the assets.
You remember, the assets, were something you own. He's got 5 women that he believes are his assets. Now he's going to make money off of them.
I knew some street pimps. I've known them for a long time. Straight street pimping is completely, in fact, no, it's not completely different game. The psychological aspect is the same.
So now I'm not taking things out of context. He's saying the psychological aspect of what he's going to be doing is the exact same psychological aspect of street pimping, and that is control.
Is that moral to basically become a street pimp? Personally, I don't like pimps. I never liked pimps.
No.
I think they're there as like a parasite to steal money from women who are pretty much either down on their luck really badly, or they're just, some women actually do it by choice, but a lot of women do it because they're down on their luck and
Yeah.
they have to do it to survive. And now they have this added cost of a fucking leech on them trying to siphon all their money. So his examples of how to make money is pimps.
Yeah.
And the guy's wondering why he's being charged with possibly, with the crimes he's being charged. I don't know.
I mean, I've said this before. Prostitution should be legal, and if it was legal, it could be taxed. It could be qualified as a job, and people would be protected from monsters
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
So let's play it more.
Of what we're going to do. The skill I'm going to teach you is exactly the same. I could easily translate mine to a street business, and you could easily street pimp with the things I'm going to teach you. I didn't want no one else fucking my girl. That's the truth. My girls. I want to fuck my girls. That's more than fucking my girls. The fuck's the point in that? So, long story short, blah, 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 blah. Discovered webcam.
Oh, good lord.
Flew all 5 girls in at once. Sat them all down. So I've been going out with all of you. Here's the truth. Starting a business, you'll make money or not. 2, decided to
Imagine if you were like that happened to you and you just come in and you see all these women, and then not only is he telling you that he's cheating on you and you don't know about these women, but now he wants you to be a cam girl so he could take the assets. You're like, these women have never done cam work in their life. And now he wants to sell your image on the internet and profit from it because he's a broke motherfucker who wants to buy land in Thailand. I don't know what the hell. I mean,
And
like,
it's such a sleazy place to. First off, thank you, Grandma Sherry. But people who normally hide in that location, they're up to no good.
yeah, holy shit.
stay. 3 started crying, got back on the plane because they're all different places in the world. I had them when I was fighting. So I went and fought in Slovakia, I've got a girlfriend. Went and fought in France, got a girlfriend. Went and fought, so I had all the girls around the world. So I told them all to fly in, sat them all down together. Like, who the fuck are all these other girls? I was like, okay, truth time. Bang.
All these other girls probably think they're exclusive before they come.
Yeah, which is
Now
shitty
all
thing.
of a sudden he lays the truth down. What is that's deception from the very beginning. His words, not mine.
I'm a G. Fucking you all.
I'm a G.
I'm a G.
You're all gonna live here with me. 3 got back on the plane. 2 decided to stay. 2 weeks later, 1 left. And so I was left with 1. Starting with 1 is good, but those 2 weeks I fucking together.
The G, as he calls himself, started with 5. Now he's down to 1. How much respect would you have for the 1 girl that's still standing there? The 4 girls, thank God that they had the sense. But really, who is the bigger man? Is the bigger man that's the fucking poser who walks into a club with 12 girls? Or is the bigger man who is the honorable guy who stands by his family, raises a family, has a decent job, goes to work every day, is solid? I'd rather go to a pub than a club any day. When you are that guy, not the G.
Same.
But when you are a solid guy where you're there for your family, you're not trying to manipulate anybody, and you're a provider for your family, and you are a solid straight guy, that's the G. That's the person who's the real man.
Your goal is to inspire a girl to make money and give you the money.
Your goal is to rip her off.
Yeah.
That's really what he's telling you. Those are his words. I'm not taking anything out of context. We're not chopping this up. This is his little seminar that he was pitching to all these guys out there who think he's got something to offer.
So the way you're going to do that is you have to have some element of influence, and you're going to have that element of influence through her respecting you, looking up to you, and her believing she needs you.
Now that is a critical thing. You know, the old pimps, what they would do is they'd find some young girl at the bus station. This is an old school kind of thing, or go to the mall or whatever, and they shower them with gifts, and then they think they're the best, and and these are chicks that don't have any self-esteem whatsoever, and then they start working for them, and then but it's a slow process, of mind control and physical control with money, control with emotions, and actual physical control.
And this is.
I mean, and think about that. Like, that's part of sex trafficking. That is part of it. Even though people, when they think about sex trafficking, and this is like when he flies people into a new country, he controls the finances.
It's abuse.
And we don't know. I mean, it's allegations. They're talking to these people about possible mental abuse. These are all allegations. But the point is that he's doing himself a major disservice because this stuff is going to be admitted into court. 100%.
He's admitted to most of the stuff he's doing.
Yeah.
He's just saying it in a different way. Does that make sense? He's just using different words, but in reality, all I hear is I'm manipulating women to be my hookers, and this is how I do it. There's the only value I have in a woman is if they're on their back.
Yeah,
that's all I hear, and that's horrible.
And I remember I listened to this guy because I had to watch a lot of Andrew Tate videos. Sorry about that. But like I watched this one and he reads this list at entertainment about being an honorable man and, a woman with virtue and masculine men. And I'm like, what are you talking about women with virtue? You're trying to turn women into, in your own eyes in virtue. Women do not have virtue because you want them to work a camp business and sleep around with your guys. Like, this is not like you're just selling shit. Like, you go on anyone's podcast and whoever's you're talking to, you change it up to who you're talking to. And you really do believe that women are property, and you really do believe. And unfortunately, if it was just like you were just selling, like you're doing a camp business and you're just paying people fairly, I wouldn't have anything. I would be like, whatever,
do your thing type.
Do your things as long as the women are getting their money and everything is up and up. I mean, I wouldn't care. But it's like you're defrauding these women, and you're also tricking people that have no idea about the camp business to be in the camp business. And then you basically pocket the majority of money and lie to them, which they're going to get into. But anyway,
extremely important, because at the beginning she will need you, but then she won't need you. But you have to keep that fallacy, keep that dream alive.
Fallacy. That's his word.
Yeah,
his word. Not taking this out of context. So she'll need you at first, but then she won't. But you have to keep her convinced that she does need you. That's how you control. That's the control part. And it is
it's abuse in like broad daylight.
Yeah, that is what is the concept of a abusive relationship. That is one of the things in an abusive relationship they do. They want to maintain control over you, make it so that they can't leave you, they can't be without you. And he's doing this in the business with 70 other women.
Fraud.
She can't do this without you, to ensure that she doesn't do it without you. So this is what screen share is all about. Effectively, this is the way the business works. The girl sits on the camera. Now, when the girl is on camera, and you would have seen from my promotional video, that was at the height of my webcam empire. The blonde in that video, I'm still with now. You'll see from there how we explain that there's people typing or pretending to be the girl 24 hours a day. So it hasn't got to be 24.
That part, I suppose, is fine in terms of a business model.
Yeah.
But it's fraud. I mean, he's the one typing. And so you think you're getting all excited by something she's saying, and here you're really communicating with Andrew Tate.
But that method is very important for two reasons.
Yeah, I hope that makes all the men who ever watch this, please do not go to cam businesses and watch cam. You're mostly talking to a dude. You're probably talking to a guy. I mean, you could be into that, but just saying.
If you're signed up and you're paying to talk to Bianca and Del Rio,
you're talking to a dude.
Yeah, and I expect to talk to Bianca.
I mean, I think you're probably better off just going to the bar and talking to real women.
Did I just say that? Bianca Del Rio? Yo, that's a drag queen. I'm sorry.
Well, it is what it is. Either way, they would probably be better off talking to her. Does she?
No, I just didn't know. I didn't hear it when it came out of my mouth, and I said it again. And I was like, I just used a drag queen's name.
Yeah, even if you get rejected in the bar, at least it's cheaper. You buy her a drink, she rejects you, you walk away. At least you got a conversation. You talk to a real woman, not a man on the internet.
Yeah.
First, let me explain how it works. Listen up, motherfuckers. So the girl's on the webcam. She's sitting there. When a girl is on camera, she has a public room, which people will visit, and they will spend money in and talk shit.
And when you think about it, the people that he's appealing to on these webcams
Are lonely people.
are just a bunch of really lonely guys, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of them out there.
It's
It is
sad.
your job to train the girl to talk to and interact with that public room as much as possible. So when people come in the room and say, "Oh, hey, how are you?" She's like, they type. The men type, "Hey, how are you?" It comes in the box. She goes, "Oh, hey, I'm fine, thank you." And she has to make sure her public room is engaging and interesting as much as possible to keep people in the room. Now, while the
So there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with what he's actually doing. It's the nature of how he's getting the girls there and keeping them there.
Yeah,
can
that's
also
the creepy
receive-
part.
Yeah, I kind of think it's something wrong. You're taking advantage of very lonely men who you're giving them you supposedly is G that's going to take men and teach them to be masculine, and it's like you're teaching them to be lone. Like you're making money from these people's loneliness, and it's like, and then you're defrauding them. Like I heard the stories where he literally empties out, like some guy's mother died. And
Yeah.
he was he wanted to give the money to one of the cam girls to kind of fly her over. And at first he says in his story, "Oh, well, I felt bad for the guy, so I told him the truth, what was his. And then I saw him in another cam business, and I said, fuck it, drain him of all his money." And that's what he did. And that's the situation I don't get. It's
it's horrible.
Yeah,
I get it. It's horrible. I just don't take the money aside, take everything aside. These women were literally abused, manipulated, and really it was like a work farm.
Yeah. So let's continue. We're almost there.
Private messages. And all those private messages you are going to reply to. And you're going to reply to them via screen share on a computer in a different room. As long as you're on the same Wi-Fi network, you're having more conversations with men than a girl could ever have on her own. Because she's too busy on her own. She's overwhelmed. She can't talk to all these people. So some guys you have to negotiate with, some guys you have to do a deal with, some guys whatever. You can do all that shit. But even more importantly, it makes the girl believe that she can't do it without you.
That's a recurring theme.
Yeah.
She can't do it.
She can't do it without
She's
you.
reliant on you. She needs you. And why is that important? Because if she thinks she can do it on her own, guess what? She does it on her own, and you've lost your profit center. That's what he's talking about. That's why the control is such an important aspect of what he does.
At the beginning, she can't.
This is so
Become a
fucking
point.
sad.
But you being here, it synergizes this teamwork energy. We're going to do this together. Yeah, you go on the camera. Don't worry. I'll talk to the guys. I'm going to talk to them. We're a team. Happy, positive teamwork. There's no negative energy in this business. You have to be positive. So by you typing for the girl, you maximize your money. And also she believes she needs you, which is extremely important. Later on down the line, I got to the point where I'd hired typers. So I didn't have to type. So I'd hired girls to sit and type and pretend to be the girls. So I had girls online. I have an office full of girls pretending to type. So I have 4 typers, 20 girls online, for example. Another reason to use Chatterbait is because they will pay you in Bitcoin.
This is another critical.
Oh, this goes to the taxes. Yeah.
Impact a criminal prosecution of him later. And if you recall at the beginning of this video, he talked about not wanting to own property because he didn't want to pay taxes. And him not paying taxes is a recurring theme. And so if he's avoiding taxes, you can't avoid taxes with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You still
You
own
have to
money.
cash it
You're
out.
making money.
Yeah.
Income, you have income taxes. Just because you're paid in Bitcoin doesn't mean that you don't owe the taxes. So let's continue.
They'll pay you in Bitcoin. Put in your Bitcoin address and they'll pay you in Bitcoin. And this is amazing because you've all seen the thought audit shit that's going on. You've all seen the fucking legalities of banking. Trying to get money out of these sites into your bank without paying a shitload of tax is actually very difficult.
See, it's that whole avoiding taxes.
Yeah.
And it's not legal to do that. It's not legal to not pay your taxes.
And that was going to be an hour segment of this fucking thing. But we don't need to do that anymore because in the last 6 months, Chatterbait have released the Bitcoin option. So they'll pay you in Bitcoin. So if you're a girl on there working, let's say you generate $3,000-$4,000, bang, you get Bitcoin into your wallet. Done. No fucking tax, no thought audit, none of that shit. And I had a separate phone with all my girls' guys in that phone, and I kept control of it. And I would speak to them, and before she went online, I would tell her like any basic information. You don't let your girl have this because if your girl ever runs off and leaves you, which is going to happen some of you at least, you don't want her to have an address book of all the guys she can get money from.
Another aspect of control. You don't want her to have your client list because if she has your client list, she can leave you. So you've got to restrict her information. So it's systematic, and it's a systematic.
Now imagine so far this is all occurring while you just came to a country, an unknown country, Romania. You're in another like France or whatever, and you're in this compound with this guy so far with this type of business model, and that kind of gives you a picture of what maybe is going behind the operations.
Systematic method of control to control these women. Now, these are not my words. These are his words.
Yeah.
His words alone.
You want her to leave and go, well, I don't know the account. I don't have the password to the account. I've never set it up before. I don't know how the banking works. I don't have any of my guys' phone numbers. I have nothing. And that's why they don't want to leave. Because, like, well, he has everything. I need him. I have to stay with him. He has everything.
So basically, hold them
It's
hostage.
a very important element.
Yeah.
That control.
I mean, what's the chances of you leave? Like, you're in a country, you have no money, you basically don't know the language, and all the financial means of which you're making money is being held hostage. Now, I've heard this a lot of people that says, well, these were full-grown women, they could have the right, they made the bad decision, and it's like, yeah, but you could say that about any situation. It happens a lot, the lover boy method. It happens usually with underage. It happens with underage girls.
Mhm.
It happens with full-grown women. Just because you're a full-grown woman doesn't mean you cannot be tricked by a guy and then be put in a bad situation, and then basically,
Let's be real too. Most of the women who fall for someone like Tate, I'm being real, they're broken women. And there's nothing wrong with being broken. It's just he took advantage of those broken parts.
I think some of them, there could be that, but I think there's a lot of women who, unfortunately, they see Andrew Tate, they like his charisma, they think like his money, and he's making his money, because no one really understands how Andrew Tate made his money. I do. He made his money by basically chatterbaiting, not only defrauding his own women that worked for him, later on you'll hear, but also defrauding his clients by having the women lie to them and empty out their bank account, making promises that they will never keep. And it gets to the point where, okay, you made your money by defrauding everyone, and now you're making a business where you're paying $50 a month to be part of a Discord server that doesn't give you actual information that you can't get without, you can easily get with just going online on YouTube. And it's like he uses people constantly. And then there's people that look up to him, real legitimate business people that have made their money legitimately, look up to him. And you say, you guys, you're out of your mind. I mean, I get like people like what Andrew Tate says. He's charismatic. I know people don't like the censoring of of certain political groups, but like realize like this guy is just saying that so you watch his videos and he makes money because he knows that's how it is. He's a chameleon.
Very important element, that control.
The girls are like, what the fuck do I need this dude for? And they will leave. You don't have every aspect under control. Tax is also another important element.
Oh, that's where he's going to get in trouble.
You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody.
That's not legal advice, by the way.
You need to tell your girl that you're paying the tax. Because girls are lazy, and girls are stupid, and girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element.
See how that control is a recurring theme over and over and over again?
When I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. It's a control element.
And he doesn't have respect for these women at all because he thinks they're stupid.
It allows you to pay her a smaller percentage. So I used to pay my girls 30%. So for every $10,000 they made, I give them $3, and I keep 7. They thought they were on 50%. And I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, we have to pay the tax first, and then it's 50-50. If they say, why is it 50-50? Because I'm the one on camera. You say, because I'm the one typing, I'm the one with the property you're working in, I'm the one paying the bills, the electricity, I'm the one who's, and the electricity and every other maintenance cost of this property, I'm the one who bought the equipment, I'm the one who knows what he's doing, I'm the one with the knowledge, I'm the da-da-da-da-da-da. Shut the fuck up, go on. And they should be pretty happy with that if they respect you as a person.
So for every $10,000, he's keeping 70% of the money. 70%, and he's lying to the women, stating that he is paying the taxes. So basically, this woman,
I don't know how any of these women didn't see this video and go, that motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it. And these women are liable for the taxes now, because now they're walking around whatever country they're in. I don't know. They could be Britain, like London or Britain, Britain.
Yeah.
And they're running around and they think they're paid up to date with the taxes, but they're not. And they're still liable. So now these people are in trouble because Andrew Tate is now making their money less and less. So now they're going to be paying taxes on top of the, that $3,000 is going to, some of it's going to go to the government now, and they might owe back taxes. So this guy is literally financially destroying these people's fucking lives by doing that little shit there. You know what I mean? And this is not what honorable men do. Honorable men do not lie to pocket money and put it into their pocket and lie to women and defraud them and also call them stupid and they don't understand. It's just ridiculous. If this is just ridiculous that people look up to this man.
Overall. So really you're paying 30, you tell them you're paying 50. Difference is in the tax.
Yeah.
That's where the disparity lies, taxes. If they don't believe you, they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. I do this all the time. I just print out some random tax forms and say, yeah, sign here, sign this. What is it? It's for the tax. You want to pay the tax or not? Okay. You just sign away. You don't know fucking signing. Let's throw them away afterwards. They think something's happening. Something real's happening.
So now he's defrauding them. He's committing fraud by giving them documents that do nothing. That's good.
Nothing's happening except me getting rich, bitch.
Nothing's happening except for me getting rich, bitch. That's what he just said. So he's taking another 20% of what would have been their earnings, saying he's paying taxes, but he's not paying taxes. His words. Having them even sign a dummy tax form that is just to try to convince her even more
fraud
that he's paying some taxes, which is just ridiculous. And so what is the middle word? Fraud. That's fraud. Force, fraud, or coercion.
Anyway, so tax is another important element to keep control of the girl. You have to fuck the girls. You cannot do a business relationship with a female. I'll tell you why. Women.
Did he just say you have to? I gotta see this. Did he just really say that? Did he really just say that? Let me see
Fraud
this.
or coercion.
Anyway, so tax is another important element to keep control of the girl. You have to fuck the girls. You cannot do a business relationship with a female.
You have to fuck
To
the
fuck
girl.
the girls.
What? Is this guy out of his mind? Like, this is crazy that there's actual legitimate businessmen who sit down between this guy smoking cigars, and this guy is having he's having sex with his employees essentially because he wants to have another level of control. Unbelievable.
I'll tell you why. Women have sex with somebody. If they're not fucking you, they're fucking somebody else. Now, a woman's always going to be the most loyal to the guy she's fucking, as opposed to anyone else for any other reason. If you have a girl work for you and you say, look, we're going to go to business partners, we're going to make money, here's your cut, here's my cut, we're going to work together, blah, 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 blah. Here's the fucking, I've had dudes, I've known loads of guys who've like tried to do a contract with a girl, tried to sit there and talk common sense to a girl. When's the last time talking common sense to a girl has ever worked? Ever. If you're not fucking the girl, she is fucking someone else. And that other person she's fucking is going to have the control over her mind.
Again, control her
Control
her through information, control her through manipulation, control her through sex,
as opposed to you. And if he
I
controls
mean,
her
like,
mind,
how
you don't control
good
her
does that dick have to be? Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know, man, but like this is just adding on
It's
and
just-
on more. It's crazy.
dude.
mind. Once she starts to pick it up a bit after a few weeks, a few months, whatever, and realizes how to make money on her own, is she going to stay and keep paying you, or is she going to run off and pay her boyfriend, or them two are going to go traveling in Southeast Asia and she's going to work as she goes, or she's going to go to her boyfriend and say, look, fuck it, you type for me. What you actually turn these things into is Bitcoin. So effectively what a webcam company is mining Bitcoin. But instead of mining Bitcoin the traditional way with huge electricity expenses and massively expensive equipment and space and cooling, all that bullshit, you mine Bitcoin with some pussy and titties.
You mine Bitcoin with pussy and titties.
Holy
That's what he just
shit.
said. Did I take that? I don't think I did. My whole point in bringing this up is not to bash Andrew Tate, although I'm not a fan. And
Yeah.
I don't care to even.
I don't think
pretend
anyone's a
I'm
fan in this
But
chat or
it's an
any other
interesting
chat.
case. It's an interesting case because it has international intrigue, but you also have, from his own words, the control aspect. How important it is to control these women. I think the government with this video, with just this one video alone, has an excellent foundation for the sex trafficking charge. But more than
Absolutely.
that, they also have probably a tax beef that they could levy against him once they start diving into his books. In analyzing this, I really don't want you to think I'm taking anything out of context because I'm not. But let's see, in his own words, how he's recruited, lured, or retained these girls.
Then you start saying things like,
Okay, before we get into, I'm just going to read the lover boy method before we get into this. Okay, this is how they usually get the lover boy method in Romania. Okay, this article is from Radio Free Europe, Romania, I guess. So basically, this goes: since Tate's arrest, the 19-year-old daughter of a former Romanian legislator has publicly accused them of trying to groom her and schoolmates with unsolicited, quite suggestive phone messages since she was 16. So this is what happening. That's probably one of the reasons why he's being arrested, because you're trying to lure 16-year-old like Romanian legislators' daughters to you, 19-year-olds. Not a really smart idea, Tate, but whatever, and that's probably why you're in jail, being stupid and all. Daragusa said Tate had basically asked me to go out with him and applied a similar strategy with other girls or young women in the Alfov-o-Prahuva area. I'm fucking butchering that one. Near his home. Quote, basically, it was the lover boy method, she told local media. She would not have been alone among Romanian women. In March 2020, Maria began a romantic relationship with a man who would become her tormentor. She thought it was love, and she moved in with him in somewhere in a Bulgarian border. She later testified after he promised her the money, and this is not related to Andrew Tate, this is just an example, by the way.
Mhm.
After he promised her the moon and the stars, he vowed to marry her. 2 months later, in May 2021, she arrived in Friend's car in the German city of Nuremberg, where she was expecting to be a homemaker while her fiancé worked on a construction site. But she quickly discovered she'd been tricked. Quote, I stayed in the apartment with two of my boyfriend's colleagues, she said. One of them told me to go to work at Puff, a local brothel, which I did. She worked every night, and the boyfriend picked her up in the early hours of the morning and took all her earnings. They had frequent arguments, and most of them ending in fights. One night, after she refused any further clients, he came pick her up and took her home, quote, where he punched and kicked me until I passed out. Several months after arriving, her first escape attempt failed. The next attempt succeeded after she brought a minibus ticket to Romania with the evening's earnings. But another woman found out and told the trafficker, and he soon arrived at her mother's house in Romania. The two reconciled, and within months, she had agreed to return to Germany to work as a prostitute. In time, she would learn that her boyfriend was married to another woman who was also working as a prostitute in Germany. Investigators concluded that Maria had been emotionally dependent on her abuser and generally believed his promises of love, quote, and protection, end quote. Also believed
Hey,
the boyfriend,
Jasmina.
had made payments to Maria's mother during this prosecution and eventual conviction in connection with the trafficking of other women. Maria continued to try to protect him from justice. So, like, that's the lover boy method, where you basically say, I love you, I care about you, I will protect you, and then you put her to work while you pocket the majority of the money. So let's listen to this part.
Oh, yeah, but you're always working. I have to do some traveling and you can't come. I want to bring you with me. Traveling is a great one because the thing about this business is mobile. If you can find a good Airbnb with good internet, you can run it somewhere else. So it's a good little caveat to throw in. Oh, and you're always working. Why don't you work for me so we spend more time together? Work for you doing what? So a lot of webcam business. Oh, I don't want to do that. So, okay, I know you don't want to do that, but listen, come and let's have a meeting. Let's just talk about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Fine. But let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. You, your bottom bitch, the new girl, go out for fucking a nice dinner. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't.
Now, Tony, what is a bottom bitch? Maybe explain to the audience what a bottom bitch
A
is.
bottom bitch means that you're on the bottom and you're a bitch. You're just, you're a bottom bitch.
No, I meant when it comes to pimps and stuff like that. He's using pimp language.
Oh, pimp language. Bottom bitch could mean two things depending on things. But usually a bottom bitch is usually the one that's like kind of like the top one.
Yeah, so basically the main person, the first in the order type.
Yeah,
of
the
okay.
first, it's the if he's not around, she's in charge.
Okay, so he's getting another woman, and part of the charge is women are being charged with the conspiracy that he's doing. So he uses. So you're gonna listen to this part.
Mm-hmm.
Do the selling. The girl has to hear from a girl. This is where your bottom bitch has to be trained. That's why I said it's so important to have a good first girl.
Remember Ghislaine Maxwell? That was the girl that recruited for Jeffrey Epstein. Almost identical to what he's talking about here. When you put all this into context, you have the way he structured his business. One of the ways that he's lured the girls is by having another girl there, identical to what.
So let's go through it. We got tax fraud because he's not paying taxes and he's lying about paying taxes for the girls but pocketing the money. Mm-hmm. We have the fact that he's defrauding his employees of money. Mm-hmm. He's sleeping with his employees because he's got to fuck them so they can't be with another man. And the other man says, hey, let's do it together and kick this fucking leech out. He's defrauded his clients by having them being lied to by the women and then pocketing the money from them. Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a few crimes he's committed so far.
Epstein was doing. Now, and this is the danger when you have so much stuff that's out there that's reckless.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see what he has to say about the Romanian court system and their jails.
The Romanian court system. Oh no, not court in Romania. They're corruption free, as we all know.
I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this. Did he walk in there with a pile of money?
Yeah, he's not walking in there with a pile of money, nor has he walked out. He's just walked out in handcuffs. So I don't think the Romanian corruption has helped him much.
This hose. This sells mine. I'm ready. Put me in there. I don't give a fuck. Take a quick picture.
He's now in a jail in Romania. He is now going to be subject to the courts in Romania. He just, on this video, I'm sure the prosecutors have this because I have it. If I have it, they have it. Flouting, taunting, showing complete and utter disregard for the Romanian court system, which he's now going to be facing. Now, if you recall, the statement from his own lawyer said, Mr. Tate has nothing but the utmost respect for the court system. Well, that's not what it says here.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at here is the case for them to be made. And granted, women may come here by their own will or come to Romania and work for him. But there are statements from women saying they wanted to leave. They were controlled. He controlled their passports. He controlled every part of their movement. Because if they can come and go as they please, he doesn't have a continuous source of revenue. He doesn't have money coming in. And that's his only goal. He doesn't give a shit about anything else. So you tell me where I've taken things out of context. I haven't taken one thing out of context. This is what he's charged with. These are his own words. And every ounce of this will be used in a court of law. It absolutely will. And so when you're looking at rape charges, sex trafficking charges, and I would venture to guess some tax counts, he's looking at some very, very serious.
Okay, so now there's the possible rape charges. Now, they did a Vice episode recently. Let me see. I'm going to play it a moment. So a supposed victim, an early victim of Andrew Tate, an episode was played. And here's the... Now, what disgusted me was there was a young man that actually reviewed the Vice episode. And he got like 200-something thousand views. And he had like such ridiculous takes. So we're going to go through his takes of the Vice episode. What do you think? Should we go through the actual Vice episode, or we should go through his takes of the Vice episode and kind of count
his takes?
Okay, we'll go through his takes. Okay, let me see. One moment. One moment. All right. I think I sent it to you a while ago, but let me see. I sent you a lot of videos, but sometimes some of them are just jokes. I sent them like the Alex Jones vodka whiskey thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious, honestly. That was hilarious. I was watching that. It was amazing.
He's another tool.
Yeah, but you know what? At least he's not being accused of sex trafficking. I mean, we can give him that much. I mean, like, let's be real. He's just a lie peddler. So, okay, so this is the guy's reply to the documentary, right? So this young man got like 200-something thousand views for a 3,000 sub channel. So he blew up. And I'm just gonna watch like his review of the video, and we're gonna just counter his points a little bit and see what happens.
You know, monitoring the interview. Yeah. What is it that you're worried that we're going to find out?
This question is so low.
This is low. It's low. We let you in. We tried to take care of you. And you're sitting here and just attacking us for 3 hours, bro.
The world is asking these questions, and the viewers will be asking these questions.
How the hell are the people and the viewers going to be asking questions when they turn the comments off?
It's a consistent leading question, a consistent narrative. Where's the question about the good he's doing for men? Well, there's a very clear narrative. I need to lose.
All right, so very smart guy walks off before he gets angry and does something irritating.
Wait a minute. What's the other question he's gonna ask?
What is it that you're worried that we're going to find out?
This question is so low.
What questions are you worried that we're gonna find out? That's subjective. That's kind of loaded, but this guy's freaking out for him. Tate's associate.
This is low. It's low.
These
We let you.
these
We
questions
tried
are
to take
loaded.
care of you, and you're sitting here and just attacking us for 3 hours, bro.
The world is asking these questions, and the viewers will be asking these questions.
How the hell are the people and the viewers going to be asking questions when they turn the comments off?
It's a consistently question. It's a consistent narrative. What is the question about the good he's doing for men? Well, there's a very clear narrative. I need to leave.
All right, so very smart guy walks off before he gets angry and does something he regrets. Smart.
So this is a Tate kind of fan. I watched his channel, but a little bit. It's definitely a Tate fan. So we're getting both sides. Let's listen to this guy.
But it's very clear there's a narrative. If they actually went on for 3 hours and all he did was grill him about the negative things he was doing when it's supposed to be a documentary about his life and everything revolving around his life. And the entire time, Tristan was calling this out.
All right, let's be nice to our vice friend. Let's be nice.
He's your friend.
He is my friend, and he's going to do a hit piece on me. So let me be nice to him before he does a hit piece.
This is definitely a hit piece. I've warned my brother that this is a setup, and this is what everyone in the
I
chat is saying as well.
don't care. I want everyone in the world to know when you plan on making a hit piece for me, you can sit there editing away, jerking your cock, going, oh, I'm going to make a hit piece. And he's going to be really upset. I don't care. Do hit pieces. Say bad things about me. I'm uninterested.
You've invited the liberal news media to come.
They can all come. I'm like the Borg. The more you shoot me with your phasers, the more I adapt. Harder to kill.
Just don't look in that room because our kidnapped victims are in that room.
Correct.
That did not age well.
That didn't fucking.
That did not age well, Andrew Tate. You probably shouldn't have said that.
So before you start saying stupid things, because I don't trust you 1%. I don't want you in my house.
Sing like you promised.
Sing a song. Andrew, it's a setup. This guy's the friendly face. They sent him here. Well, I haven't
Sing a
said
song.
this. And his editor and his
Thank you, Grandma Sherry.
That should be in the middle of these two. Holy shit! I'd probably start smoking weed if I had to be in the middle of these two.
It's a setup. Being dragged into this. I'm agreeing to the documentary because Andrew thinks it's a good idea. And as his brother, I trust his judgment. But man, do I dislike these people.
So
That's his brother.
Yeah, that's
not
his
in
brother.
the middle. Not in the
He's
middle.
also
But
not in the middle. That's the Vice News reporter in the middle.
Okay.
And also the brother's been arrested for sex trafficking as well. So
yeah, they were both arrested
Yeah.
at the same time.
and
so.
some other people too.
Out and said it was a setup, but they still went through with it and did it. And then they still proceed to come out with a video and yet still turn the comments off and had a girl on here saying that he sexually abused her and physically assaulted her.
Sally was approached by Andrew when she was 20. Due to fears of harassment from his fan base, she's withholding her real name.
Fears of harassment from a fan base. That's why she's holding her name.
Like, look at this guy. Like, this is the one thing I came out about. He's like, he doesn't quite understand why a person who is worried about a fan base or being doxxed or being attacked by a group of people would want to hide their face. Like, he doesn't quite understand that thought process. Especially someone who basically alleged to witness a sexual assault. We're going to later find out. Of Andrew Tate, who also talks about his connections to the Romanian mafia, how he could have someone killed, and also the fact that the guy is literally runs around with, like, talks about, choking bitches and stuff like that. I don't know. And his fan base is pretty rapid, or like, pretty bad.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I've never done webcam work.
Fears of harassment and you can't make your own decisions.
Andrew.
Wait a minute. See, like, that's another thing he does quickly. She says she took 5 bottles of wine, right? And she needed to just calm down because she's never done cam work. Okay, so she's nervous and she's drinking because she's nervous. And this is what this guy says.
Drunk because I've never done webcam work.
Fears of harassment and you can't make your own decisions.
Andrew.
And you can't make your own decisions.
There's a lot of people who want to go out like against a lot of YouTubers, a lot of famous people, but they don't because of the backlash. It's common sense. You're a fucking idiot if you think there's not going to be a backlash with their fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's be real. You're going, there's diehard Andrew Tate fans.
I mean,
they're gonna fuck up your life, and I get it, but please say something.
And it's like these people, they're like, the woman is being convinced to do cam work. She's nervous. She drinks 5 bottles of wine, and he's like, you can't make your own decision. That doesn't even correlate to what she's talking about. Like, you're guilting her for drinking, but Andrew Tate drinks all the fucking time. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Harassment and you can't make your own decisions.
Andrew punched me in my arm. I went to the bathroom and cried. It really, really hurt to have someone just hit me in the arm for no reason. I was very confused. Sorry, I don't want to cry.
Poor thing.
Okay. Shut up, you simp. When these women...
And that's his response to a man comforting a woman who is crying because she is alleging that she was hit by Andrew Tate. Okay? And that she was crying in the bathroom, and she was crying in person, and he was trying to calm her down. And he says, shut up, you simp. Okay.
Actually come out and say these allegations towards men even though this is way later than when it actually happened, they lose all credibility when they withhold their face and withhold their name. Because you can actually tell when a person's genuine when you're looking at their face and looking at their eyes. You can tell. A person can actually tell whenever a person is being genuine. But whenever you're withholding their face and their name, it makes zero sense to actually give this person credibility.
So all the people who are trying to hide their identity from, like, let's say criminal organizations, don't believe them because they're in protective witness. I mean, like, makes no sense. I'm not credible, guys. You can't see my face. You can't see Tony's face. He's not credible.
Well, that's the biggest thing with
mean, like-
people online. When there's people that make it's
on.
not just this situation. People who hide their face, it's the first thing that these stupid people go, "Well, you can't show your face?"
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's so fucking stupid. Like,
maybe maybe the woman doesn't want to show her face because she's ashamed of what she had to go through, or maybe she doesn't want to have people
she's
like
an abused
you.
woman.
Yeah, better. You said it better. Or she doesn't want to have you people harass her because you people don't really like you. There are fan bases in Andrew Tate that hate women, literally hate women. And I'm not saying everyone Andrew Tate's fans hate women, but there is a small group of men who hate women and would fucking attack this woman online for sure.
But at this time, the girl had a partner, so she was not interested in Andrew at all. And I had gone to the shower. I came back and I noticed I saw him raping her. And,
okay, so you walk in a room and you see somebody raping someone. That makes no sense. You walk in, you see them fucking, and you just assume he's raping her.
I don't like this guy anymore. I don't want to watch him anymore.
No, we're just watching an Andrew Tate. We're responding to his stupidity.
I know, but the thing is, though,
we gotta watch the whole thing, Tony.
It's very triggering.
Yeah, but we have to watch because this is the mindset of an Andrew Tate fan. This is the mindset. They don't
think we get it by now. Let me
say something. We need to just let me say something. Now, he says that he is, because I know this is bad for people, I know, but he says this woman claims that she walked in the room and saw her friend being sexually assaulted. Now, remember what Andrew Tate says, you got to be fucking them.
Yeah, we get it.
Okay.
It's just a law.
And this guy is literally attacking. Now, he doesn't understand why they didn't bring charges. Let's just skip to that part because obviously you don't want to actually see that part. But I'm going to skip it because Tony's getting really pissed off at this guy. I get it. I'm reading the signal. But he doesn't understand that why the charges are not brought. So
Grandma. Thank you, Grandma. Grandma really strokes my ego. I'm handsome.
Yeah, I get you.
Tim is a tomato.
I know. Trying to see. Okay.
Wait, what does that say?
The police understood after investigation that I'm innocent. No, that's Andrew Tate's. But what happened was in the Vice episode, I'm going to pull up that Vice episode, an actual Vice episode. But that's like the little bit of the mindset of, and we're going to go towards the end of the Vice episode to show you why they didn't bring charges, because they did go to the police, the British authorities. And here.
And the hilarious thing is this guy is literally in his mom's basement, mooching off his mom, a woman that works and provides, so he can say women suck.
Yeah. That says the CPS sent a letter saying that one of the reasons they didn't charge Tate was because they found a voice notes on our phones where we talked about whether we should tell the police that he gave us alcohol. We were talking about it because that is what happened. He used to get us drunk. So, and I also think the other reason why they never really charged them was because these women were in the sex business. And how many times have we known that cops kind of just don't really care?
Oh, yeah, they don't.
About women getting kind of sexually assaulted in the sex business. We literally seen like women in the Poughkeepsie Killer case where a woman was literally running after being assaulted, and they gave, and like, sexually assaulted, beat up, and they gave him like 2 weeks in jail. And you know what I mean? Like, it gets to the point where, yes, the cops do not like to prosecute sexual, like these types of cases, because they don't really care too much about these women.
And those are shitty cops.
Yeah. Now the transcript, I got this from Twitter. Here. This is an article. I know Tony was getting pissed. He's like, motherfucker. He's like going after.
I don't like guy. Yeah, I don't.
But
like
yeah,
that
but that
woman was brave to come out and say what she said, and I get why she wants to hide her face. I understand it, but this guy, I don't like men who degrade women when they're trying to. That's her story she's trying to tell.
Yeah, and
You're
that's
gonna
the thing.
respect her.
Pete Sam is still sus. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. And this is the video transcript of the Tate brothers' file. The two allegedly forced their victims tattoos on their names. New information is emerging that the case in which millionaire brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate were arrested for human trafficking, the two influencers would have forced their victims to tattoo themselves with their names, and the security employees would have always stood with guns in sight to intimidate the women. In the transcript, Andrew Tate tells how he used to use women to launder money. The news about the arrest of Tate's brothers also reached Afghanistan. The Taliban demand their release, blah, 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 because Andrew converted to Islam in 2021. The Tate brothers' victims told prosecutors that when they first arrived at the suspect's villa, they were met by armed guards. Their role was to put pressure on the women so that they never took a break from work they were doing on the adult sites. The prosecutors have obtained wiretaps in which Andrew Tate recounts how he broke the law and took advantage of women. And this is from the wiretaps. Andrew Tate, you're not stupid, and you can probably guess how I make so much money. I have to hide what I am really doing. Victim, webcam, ? Andrew Tate. I've been doing this for a long time with a team of girls working on video chat. The company was fake, but this is how I laundered my dirty money. So some of the girls who worked for me, I used them to do other things to make more money, move money or illegal things, documents, etc. I will never do that with you. The humiliation of the victim did not stop there. Investigators have obtained shocking statements from women who were allegedly recruited by Tate's brothers. They told that they were forced to get tattoos with the message, quote, owned by Tate, end quote, meaning Tate's property. And remember what he said about women being assets, obviously. This doesn't really help his case with that video, I guess. This is the hard part of the job.
Excuse me, say that again.
This is the hard part, saying the names of the, foreign names. Ion, Glugon.
Put it through Google Talk.
Good idea. Let's see Google Talk. See this? Why haven't you told me that before? Google Talk.
I have told you that before when we were doing the Junko Furuto.
Oh yeah, you're right. Jeez Louise.
But you don't think about it, while you're reading. Yeah.
The lawyer of the Tate. So this is the lawyer of the Tate brothers.
Mhm.
I would understand the gesture made by the respective person as a gesture intended to make themselves as pleasant as possible by the Tate brothers, and at no time was the question of condition or coercion to make such a gesture, and it was their free will. So he's saying the lawyer's saying the tattoos are women's free will.
It's branding. It's branding cattle. That's what.
The forensic psychologists, human traffickers are people who have more pronounced psychopathic traits, which, I mean, I'm not a therapist, so this is her words, not mine. They don't feel remorse. They don't feel regret. They either blame the victims, disregard them, or place the responsibilities elsewhere. Andrew Tate has become one of the most famous people on the internet. I wouldn't say that. I would say there's a couple more. Before he was arrested, he was doing the round shows of the podcast. Okay, this is just other shit. Let's see if we can get like actual other stuff. Let me see. Okay, so this is Andrew Tate's victim discussion. Emory. You have to understand, this is from Andrew Tate's conversation. You have to understand that once you're mine, you'll be mine forever. Women never leave her man. I will be the last man in your life, end quote. Emory, what do you do if we fall in love and I kidnap you and bring you to Bucharest? Girl, I don't think it's a kidnapping if I want to come. And you got to remember this is translated from Romanian, so I'm guessing that's why it's a little choppy.
Translation iffy.
Yeah, that's why it sounded like I'm kind of like broken up. Emory, first I have to see in your eyes. I'm not sure if this is actually the same.
Can you sorry to cut you off. Can you share the source link so people, just in case, because you never know, somebody in here could be, knows how to speak Romanian and can correct us and be like,
I don't have the Romanian translate. This is just on but here. That's the Twitter one I'm using. All right. So I'm not sure if this is actual. Okay, so Andrew Tate, you have to. Okay. First, I have to see in your eyes that you will never be able to live without me, and then I can trust you to show you everything. Girl, bring ring with you when you come. Mary, can you be loving enough to be a wife? To always, I don't know if that's someone else. So this seems like an example on the Romanian one. And now we go to the bottom one. It says, Andrew Tate, did you tell the new one that you're making a lot of money? And you should ask him to take pictures of you. P.I. Yes. P.I. You mean me and her in the picture? Andrew Tate, yes. P.I. What kind of picture? Andrew Tate, anything for OnlyFans. P.I. In underwear? He won't. Andrew Tate, see? P.I. G talked to her today and will be live with B tonight to try.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Tate, you don't go anywhere without one of the 3 trusted employees. Young woman, why are you so cold to me? Andrew Tate, don't go out alone without telling me. Andrew Tate, mall, supermarket, anywhere from now on. Young woman, I told you I wanted to go alone. Andrew Tate, it's the last warning. So it sounds like he's got control. Some of the girls who work for me use them to do other things, to move money and illegal things. So he's gotten these wiretaps from this thing, which doesn't really help him too much. Then you got this other thing. The criminal lawyer guy does another video, which is 12 minutes, and says, lawyer breaks down judge's order of Andrew Tate's detention.
Well, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
With all this evidence, literally evidence from his own admission, because he can't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Could he pay out of this? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, could he get out of this with just paying fines and stuff, or are we looking at prison time?
No, he's looking at a minimum of 15 years if he gets convicted.
A lot can happen in 15 years.
I don't know. I mean, like, the thing is like he's still alleged.
Yeah.
These are all like basically allegations that these women are going through. There's some evidence. I mean, like, but I think they're going to get him on something.
When did they start searching for him?
They did their investigation for 7 months. Now, I think the pizza box thing might have been like, they might not have used it. It could have been they used it, but a lot of people.
Well, it's been confirmed that it wasn't the pizza box, but the internet agrees to give Greta this.
Yeah, I know
that
I kind of just want to live in my own bubble and believe the pizza box did it. So I'm gonna believe.
We're all gonna think that. We're all gonna think that because we're giving Greta this one. This is for you, Greta.
You need it. You need it badly at this point.
Yeah. How dare you?
How dare you? How dare you?
Did you finally watch the video, the Greta video?
No.
You didn't want. Oh God, you're missing. But anyways, go ahead.
Okay, so he's gonna break down the detention admission and evidence admissible evidence thing. So break down judge's order over Andrew Tate's detention and admissible evidence. He's got to break down.
Yeah.
And luckily he's translated it and from Romanian to English, and he's going to go through it. So hopefully that'll help.
I've gotten some backlash from some incels on our channel about Andrew Tate. I have one guy saying it's so sad that the lawyer is jealous of Andrew Tate. He'll never reach his level. I hope not. I don't want to be in a Romanian jail cell where 56 other guys are the same toilet that's in the middle of the fucking room.
Right.
I hope I don't reach his level. Some of the directors have been saying that I take things out of context and, what color is your Bugatti? And whatever. And so I am going to kind of break down with the judge.
He did that accent well, the Andrew Tate accent.
Yeah,
what color is your Bugatti?
That's a good accent. That's a good accent, sir. Good accent.
And I think I already did a thing about taking things out of context. But let's talk about what the judge focused on in determining the decision to keep him detained. First of all, Romania is a country that's part of the International Convention Against Sex Trafficking. So they're trying to standardize things across the globe because sex trafficking by its nature is borderless. In other words, if everybody has the same type of structure against sex trafficking, it should work as a kind of a global thing to prevent it. If there's a safe haven for sex traffickers, that's where they'll go. So that's what the idea is between that international convention. First, the judge references the definition of human trafficking and the protocol regarding prevention and repression and punishment. Human trafficking, especially of women and children, in addition to the United Nations Convention. The judge starts out by talking about the definition and where the law comes from. But then he starts talking about concrete danger for the public that they present. And even if the defendants are not known with criminal past, the charge represents a state of normality that cannot justify, in context of the present case, the release of the defendants at this procedural moment in relation to the high gravity of the alleged crime of human trafficking and the creation of a criminal group organized for which they are investigated. And then the other thing he talks about in the order is the judge talks about, we had that stuff that had happened in London. Well, the judge says even though that's not a crime, it cannot be ignored. So he's using that, and he fled to this jurisdiction, and he's also using the fact that he's talking in videos and flaunting flight.
He basically claims he has 6 passports and that he would run if he ever got kind of arrested in one state. That doesn't help your bail hearing if you are basically have a bunch of videos out stating that you can easily run from this country.
Yeah, I have the vapors.
I have the vapors, yes.
Talks about that in his order.
If I fuck up, England wants me in jail, I can fly a Nigerian passport, or an American, or an English, or Polish, or an Estonian. I have so many passports. Are you gonna block them all?
Everything he is doing is consistent. But here's even the kicker. Looking at private videos that are part of the police file, from the following passages from the context of this content, there is no doubt a deep lack of respect for the legal norms and a total indifference to the social protected values that the defendant gives proof of.
Oh no, not a court in Romania. You naturally respect the Romanian courts. Put me in jail.
Get me out of jail. The law says you're guilty. I said get me out of jail. Don't go see a lawyer to talk about the law. I've committed multiple felonies. How much does it cost to make this all go away?
But also,
I've committed multiple felonies. How much it costs to make it all go away?
I don't think he's going to be able to pay himself out of this.
Great.
Regard towards women in general, which he perceives only as a mean of getting his content released. In other words, making money. The judge cannot agree with the support of the defense in the sense that the video content presents only one character and cannot be taken into account since the defendant exhibits the same attitude in the relations with the injured persons and is evident from the content of the conversations that are in these criminal prosecution files. The defense had made an argument. You can't really look at what he's saying on those videos because that's just a character that he's playing. Well, the judge has also looked at some private files, and the judge says, I can't ignore it. You know, you look in some of the things, he shows you his 7 passports. I mean, who has 7 passports? And if you look at, we'll show you some video in a minute about
so let's go back a little bit. Let's watch
his 7 passports. I mean, who has 7 passports? And if you look
Tom Hanks has 7 passports.
I mean, like I get the one gun, but what's the brass knuckles for? What's the 2 guns? What's the multiple cell phones? I mean, okay.
I get what you're saying. It's just
And 7 passports, and with the purpose of recruiting, housing, and exploiting women by forcing them to create pornographic content. It says in the bottom. I don't know. I mean, it's looking pretty criminal. I mean,
in a minute about the search. You look at the guns. You look at the passports. You look at all the other things that are on the table. He's ready to rock and roll. I mean, why does he need all this stuff? Well, I'll tell you why, because he fled one jurisdiction and he's worried about people coming after it. Cops in general, regarding the need to prevent the commission of another crime, purpose mentioned in enumerated paragraph 202, blah, blah, blah. The judge notes the situation by which his conduct prior to committing the act is the subject of the case. The defendant proves the real risk of repeat criminal behavior. The judge is basically saying is, if you look at some of the recent statements put out by his camp, Andrew Tate has nothing but the utmost respect for law and authority, nothing but the most respect for the Romanian courts.
Oh no, not a court in Romania.
Of course they're going to say that now. But what did he flaunted it on his video. He absolutely flaunted it. Andrew Tate's videos that he made are completely
his own undoing.
In the ass.
He did it
Somebody
himself.
tells you who they are.
Yeah. Self-snitching. Stop self-snitching. Like the hat says. Stop self fucking up what I'm saying.
Do you need a minute? Are you having a stroke?
I'm discombobulated.
Do you smell burnt toast?
Maybe I need maybe I do. Maybe I need some vapors right now because I'm fucking up right now. Stop self-snitching. Sorry.
Believe them. When Andrew Tate tells you he's got 7 passports because he could go to Romania, I could go to Bulgaria, I could go to Sudan, wherever the fuck he says he's going to go. He's so full of shit. You know, and the thing that kills me, honestly, about this guy in general is the hubris. And he not only preys on these women, but he preys on these young guys with no self-esteem, and they just think he's the bee's knees. Oh, look, he's driving a Bugatti, you know, and he's doing this, he's doing that, and he just has money.
This lawyer is so innocent. Like, he's saying everything right. He's doing everything right. But how innocent? He's just the bee's knees. Like, I have not heard that in years.
Like, my guess is that he's got to keep his cool because he's still a practicing criminal attorney. And there's certain you have to. There's certain guidelines.
Yeah,
you have
no,
to
no, I
follow,
get it.
so.
It's just cute that he said it. It's like I'm trying to take you
I'm
seriously.
I'm probably gonna take that away from him. I'm gonna say it's the bee's knees. I'm gonna say a couple of times.
Say it randomly. Just
I'm
say
just gonna
like
say-
even
I'm
if
gonna
it
s-
even if you like if it's like if you're in a conversation where it doesn't belong, say it. Say it.
Oh,
Just say it.
absolutely. I'm gonna say it randomly.
Out of
It's-
context.
Fist. Well, you can make money hand over fist, but if you have to look over your shoulder, that's called short money. It's absolutely short money. And
Short
so
money.
anybody out there who's paying $50 a month to Hustle University, which I don't think exists anymore, is someone that needs to look elsewhere for motivation and support. In that motivation that you're looking for, look at what he did.
Hey, Pecan.
Hi, Pecan.
Started out being successful as a fighter. You don't make a lot of money as a professional kickboxer. He wound up with, when he got done with the fight game, he had 70 grand to his name. He blew 30 of it trying to gamble it to try to get a place in Thailand, and it was left with $40,000 left. He was going for the quick money. He was selling drugs for a short time,
But fighting wasn't paying the bills, sold drugs, whatever.
and then he does this webcam thing, and didn't do it. I mean, the webcam business is not illegal by itself, but to do it the way he did it, and with the deception and the fraud that he engaged in, because that's his MO. That's his MO. He has to get the quick money because he didn't have the skill. I want to say he didn't have the skill set to do it right, but he probably did. But just he got greedy, and why would you tie up all your money in 33 cars? As he said, I think they just seized another 4 vehicles. He's put himself in a very vulnerable position by.
Yeah, what an idiot! Don't you know cars are the worst keepers of value ever? Okay, bro, and how are you gonna you're saying that you're living this lifestyle where you can jump from country to country? What the fuck how are you gonna transport all these fucking Bugattis? You gotta pay a lot of money to do that shit.
Engaging in criminal activity. When you break the law, you give the government a foray into your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just do, because you give the government the ability to then control your life.
Yeah.
And who's controlling where he is and what he's doing. Had he done this the proper way, and I don't know what that means exactly because I'm not in the webcam business. The guys that are looking at him as an idol, and there are a lot of you out there. There are a lot of you out there. I don't have, Bugatti money. But you know what? If I had to do what Andrew Tate did, I wouldn't want Bugatti money. Even if I had that kind of money, I wouldn't fucking buy a Bugatti. When you set up your program, whatever your program is, go to work, start your own business, whatever you're doing, you got to do it so that it isn't like Andrew. So he's vulnerable himself. Okay, let's look at what he did. His first victims were addicts, right? Drug addicts.
Mm-hmm.
Second victims, and he's always doing something in the back of people. The second victims were the ladies that he was keeping there. And I know some people said they were free to leave at any time. Bullshit. They wouldn't have a case if they weren't. You got 6 people who said they weren't. But then the third victim was you guys.
Of course, all 6 of those women are lying. Of course, they're just lying for no profit motive at all. They're just lying women. I don't know.
You guys had signed up for Hustle University.
That's sarcasm, by the way, just in case someone records this.
You were hustled. I mean, you were online, and he was feeding what you needed to hear. And unfortunately, it was BS. It was absolutely BS. I know it's fashionable in some circles to be full of bravado and say, oh, my bitch is doing this or that, and have this persona. But you know what's even better than that is being revered for being a hardworking son of a bitch and providing for the people around you and having their admiration. That short circle of people. And there's nothing beats that. I have a family that sits around me, and I try to make sure every one of them is taken care of. And I do it through legitimate means. And, it wasn't easy for me to go to law school. When I went to law school, I had shitty grades coming out of college. I didn't think I'd get in. And when I got in, I thought they were going to put their hand on my shoulder and say, look, we made a mistake. But I worked my ass off. And I really liked law school. And I grinded it out. And it was like 7 years between my first year of college until the end of law school. And by doing that, guess what? I was able to set up my law practice. And I've been doing this for 25 years. And I have all the trappings of a good life. That is solid. That's where you need to be. So when you look at
so he's trying to say that Tate is a short-term gains person. And, if you're going to look at Andrew Tate at 50, do you think he's going to be like this guy in an office, respected by his colleagues, has a family, has a nice living? or do you think he's going to probably be in fucking jail or broke? That's
Well,
what's going to
I
be Andrew
mean,
Tate.
he's in jail now. He's not
Yeah.
so broke, but
Oh, he'll be broke because what happens is that when you make your money based on a criminal activities, the government can fucking take your shit at that point. And that doesn't mean that he won't be charged in America or Britain or other places eventually. Because remember, he did some tax fraud. He basically pocketed other women's money and said, well, I get Bitcoin, so I don't need to pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So he might be having some other problems in other countries. But this is the thing where I feel like the young men don't understand. Young people in general, they think about, like, they watch these rich people and they think their immediate money is the best. No, it is the fastest way to lose your money because
they want to get rich quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the fastest way is often the most riskiest way, and often those people who sell those courses are the ones profiting from your risk and profiting from you, and because that's how they make their money. That's how they make their money. So if you want to be a guy who's respected and do the right thing, you can be like this guy. He sits in an office. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a practicing defense attorney. He's worth millions of dollars. He's got a family. I mean, or do you want to be Andrew Tate, where you're in a cell with 50 people taking a shit into one toilet bowl, and all your shit's going to be taken, and you're a pariah on the internet? Pick your options, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Short-term gains or long-term gains. What do you think is better? Let's continue.
Decisions that Andrew Tate has made. He's made his bed, and his bed is right now with about 56 other guys in a single room with a toilet in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
The next phase for him will be to face the charges, and we'll follow this. So he isn't getting out. The judge has used his videos against him that were in the police file, rejected all the defense, and I wouldn't be shocked if all of a sudden he winds up with new lawyers, because that's the kind of guy that he is. Unless off camera, he's really understanding how much trouble he's in. I heard this. I don't know if this is accurate or not. I heard he could be looking at up to 14 years.
14
I don't know if that's true or not. All I know is he is looking at a boatload of time. He's looking at the better part of 10 years. And
And
good. Be good to the people around you. Work your ass off. Have a program that can't, you don't have to look behind you. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure.
Yeah. Also, you got a lot of people's lives he's ruining. I mean, I heard this guy named Sneeko. He's live streaming on Rumble now. He got banned from all the platform. He took Andrew Tate's advice, and the guy's life's a fucking wreck. This guy's like literally having his girlfriend sleep with another man while he's holding her hand.
Is he happy?
I mean, he's not happy at all. He's constantly screaming and angry. He's talking about the system and the Matrix taking over and the red pill. And this guy was literally working with Kanye West to be Nick Fuentes' secretary, basically. And it's like your life was a lot better before Andrew Tate. Like you had a YouTube channel, you were making money, you were respectable, and then when you started taking Andrew Tate's advice, your life fucking tanked.
Mm-hmm.
That should be an example to a lot of young men. Do not take this man's advice.
Does he still like Andrew Tate?
Oh yes, he does. He believes that
he hasn't learned shit.
Yeah, he believes that it's not that bad. It's the women's decisions. He's not a sex trafficker. And also it's the Matrix or some sort of Romanian corruption that wants to silence the great man as Andrew Tate. And you got some people that actually believe that like there's some sort of rank governmental conspiracy to take him down. It's not that this guy was, basically talking about in all social media about his various crimes that he was committing and that he eventually got caught and with something. You know what I mean? Come on. It's ridiculous. So next is, now it says, we're going to play the Inside Edition. It's a minute long and talks about how he was being transported. So this is about, I think, 3 hours ago. Okay, this is Inside Edition.
Far-right influencer Andrew Tate was in a Romanian court on Monday asking to be released from a 30-day hold. Andrew Tate, his brother Tristan, and 2 other people were detained on December 29th with charges related to human trafficking, coercion, organized crime, and sexual assault. Romanian officials say the 4 people have been exploiting women by forcing them to create pornographic content meant to be seen on specialized websites for a cost. The Tates went to court to appeal a judge's decision to extend their arrest period from 24 hours to 30 days. Prosecutors say say since the arrest, they have seized several vehicles belonging to the Tate brothers, reportedly worth up to $300,000.
We're now living in a world where there is endless battle ongoing for your mind.
Tate, who holds British and American citizenship, was banned from Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram for violating policies against hate speech and misogynistic comments. His Twitter account was reinstated in November 2022 after Elon Musk became CEO of the company.
Yeah,
Did Elon rebanned him yet?
No. And also, Elon Musk is doing bad. I heard the employees from Twitter have to bring their own toilet paper because he fired the janitors. So
how? I thought he was supposed to innovate, give people
he's also not paying any of the rent, and he's not paying the accountants, and he's trying to negotiate the rent for where the Twitter main office is at.
He owns the office now?
No, he has to pay rent, and he hasn't paid the rent. And also, he's like, whenever you get into a meeting with him, you have to wait for him to talk. And also, while you're talking to him, he's watching YouTube videos. So Elon Musk might watch an Elon Musk YouTube video probably eventually. So
he does Google himself. He is one of those people.
But yeah, they have to bring their own toilet paper to Twitter. That's a great job. Wonderful job. Great job, Elon Musk.
In regards to the human trafficking and sexual assault charges, a lawyer for the Tate brothers told a Romanian news outlet, "In my view, there is no evidence there. Both men have denied wrongdoing." He also said the controversial Tates play characters online, which should not be used as evidence in a criminal trial. A tweet on Andrew Tate's account posted.
Oh, now he's saying they're characters.
Yeah, that's his defense, because what's happening is that they're grabbing all the videos we watched and showed it to a judge, and that's why he's being detained for 30 days, because he's a flight risk. Because he admitted that he had like 6 fucking passports, and that he could just go anywhere he wants. And that's the problem when you basically dry snitch on yourself with multiple videos. It's very, very pathetic. Let me see. He sounded like JLR in the clip. Yeah. Where do you think JLR gets his ideas from? Probably watches this guy. You know?
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if JLR is not part of Hustler University and was paying him $50 a month to learn how to become a millionaire. I'd be kind of laughing at that point, honestly. I don't know. I mean, like, what do you think so far?
I just think that they're all fucking clowns. They're just... Justice is going... I'm strongly believing justice is going to come this time. And I hope it does, and I hope he gets more than 15 years, 14 years.
So I guess, like, we're going to end it. We're gonna watch a little something about how Andrew Tate says the keys of being the best man you can be. And you tell me if he's actually following any of these keys. This will be the last video, and then we'll close it off.
Okay.
It is incumbent.
All right, we're going to play. Let me see. He's going to read the list from his phone. And this video was from 3 months ago. So this is before he went to prison.
Strong. I think if any man lives true to these tenets, they're going to have a fantastic relationship with life, and also they're going to be a good force and good influence.
Look how these two are looking at him.
They're going to enjoy their experience, their human experience, and the people close to them will also enjoy their presence. So that's what this is about. These are the 41 things I believe. So here we go. I believe that men have the divine imperative to become as capable, powerful, and competent as possible in this life. I reserve my human right to hold my own beliefs and practice them as I see fit, and allow other people the same right to believe and act as they wish. I prefer loving, rewarding, consensual relationships with beautiful, positive, and virtuous women.
Okay, listen to that. Like, I mean, maybe I slow it down because he's going a little fast. Let's listen to that again.
Practice them as I see fit, and allow other people the same right to believe and act as they wish. I prefer loving, rewarding, consensual relationships with beautiful, positive, and virtuous women. I believe men and women are...
Like, what do you think of that? I am going to run a smut business where I'm going to grab women that have never been in pornography, trick them into being in pornography, and then take most of their money and then sleep with them, promising them a relationship that will never come about. And this is the virtuous women that he's attempting to say. Okay, let's continue.
They're different, and that each has their own unique and important strengths and abilities.
This is a guy who says that women are stupid.
Hey, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
I believe men have the sacred duty to protect and provide for the important people in their lives.
He scams women from their money and also scams money from the men that he's trying to preach to. So I don't know about that.
I believe men have the sacred duty to protect the innocence and sanctity of their children and reserve the right and responsibility to raise their children as they see best to ensure their long-term happiness and success.
Fine.
I believe that men have the sacred duty to raise strong, capable, and honorable sons.
Is he honorable? I don't think he's honorable.
I believe that men have the sacred duty to raise kind, feminine, and virtuous daughters.
Kind, feminine, virtuous daughters that you are corrupting and you are basically turning into pornography when they would not have been doing that. And then you steal their money and then you ditch them.
I utterly disapprove of violence within romantic or familiar relationships.
We've seen videos of him doing the belt play with belting a woman. I don't know. That's a little bit out of a kink. And you also threatening to belt other people and choking bitches out, I guess.
I support good and honest governments and will obey their laws.
We know that's what do you
He's just this didn't age well either.
This is 3 months ago. And look at these faces of these two people.
They're all like you're full of shit.
No, they're like, wow, this is the G, man. This is the G. Or whatever the fuck Andrew Tate says. Hi, Ellie.
I prefer to only conduct business dealings with trusted and vetted brothers. I believe that a man...
Look at that look. Like, he's just in awe. And this is a guy who legitimately made his money like, he just does sales. And honestly, like, the guy made his money legitimately. So he's looking at Andrew Tate, and he's thinking that this guy is this great guy. I'm like, I don't know why the fuck he's doing that.
Man has the sacred duty to hold true to his word and do exactly what he says he will do. I believe...
Wait. Let's listen to that part again.
Has the sacred duty to hold true to his word and do exactly what he says he will do.
Just like you said you were going to pay those women.
How is this knowledge? Most of this is common fucking sense.
Yeah, but he doesn't even obey these common sense.
Yeah, I know.
He does the opposite.
But I'm saying the other guys are just blown away from this. And I'm like, are you not doing this? Are you a horrible human being too? Like,
yeah, like, should I treat women with decency and kindness? Holy shit.
Yeah, this guy is so like, oh my God, this is so... That's exactly what this guy is doing. He's like, wow, I've been doing it wrong. Hey, Bushes.
I mean, it's just crazy. It's absolutely nuts. This guy's...
I believe that a man's life is difficult and that he has the sacred duty to become strong to handle such difficulty.
Okay.
I believe men are personally responsible.
Look at this guy. I mean, like, oh my God, valuetainment. Come on, man.
Responsible for their actions and for the results they achieve in their lives. I believe in emotional control and the vital need to become disciplined and professional in all things. I believe that men have the sacred duty to approach everything in life from a position of strength. I believe that all men have the sacred duty to become men of upright and virtuous character and live above all possible reproach.
Wait, what? This is his life tenets. Do you think he's living like that? Like, do you think he's doing that?
Obviously, no.
I mean, like, I'm going to sell drugs. I'm going to get women to be in the cam business. I'm going to lie to them that I'm going to pay their taxes and not pay their taxes and pocket 70% of the money. I'm going to threaten people. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to drink excessive amounts of booze. I don't think that's part of I don't think Muslims are supposed to drink, actually. So I don't know how he's going to tell that to the, people he's talking to. Let me see what else. Oh yeah. He doesn't have respect for the law. He goes to a corrupt country because he doesn't want to be accused of a sexual assault, allegedly sexually assaulted a woman. And he doesn't pay taxes, probably.
Basically, everything he's saying, he doesn't follow. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah, like everything. I mean, come on.
I believe it is incumbent upon me to ruthlessly identify my own weaknesses and limitations, and I eagerly work to overcome them and become more capable in all realms. I seek to improve my personal freedom to think, act, and live true to my masculine imperative in all ways. I
wonder if like these guys actually stop him and be like, can you like explain to me what you mean by masculine identity, sir?
He probably smokes the devil's lettuce. I know I am.
Yeah, like I'd be like, what? He'd probably be like, what do you mean? He would just be a fucking blank. Like, it sounds like he just typed up 60 things that sounded really good to a bunch of young men. And then like, he doesn't even live this life. Like, he doesn't live this life. He doesn't.
Each man has a sacred duty to mold the physical body into the strongest, most resilient, and most capable version of itself.
Okay, he does that.
I believe that men have the sacred duty to rigorously train themselves, both physically and mentally, every day. I believe that I have the sacred duty to only eat the highest quality foods possible.
Wait a minute. Why is that?
You were eating a pizza, man. Like,
Hey, yeah, and also like, why is that in your 60 tenets? Like, okay,
maybe he
like,
was hungry.
Like, I don't need to like be reminded in my 60-word thing in my phone about when I can eat. Like, come on, and these people are taking him so serious.
They're eating this shit up.
He's a failure. Yeah, he's a failure for sure.
I reserve the right to protect the sanctity of my bloodstream and make my own decisions about medical care and procedures.
Wait a minute, but you drink and you do multiple drugs. Like, how is that protecting your fucking bloodstream? I mean, I have nothing against the people who want to smoke weed or drink, but like, you're saying this, but you're doing the opposite, sir.
Yeah.
I think I went for the COVID denial type of thing.
Well, I will fight you on this. I think people who smoke cannabis are not fucking with their body. Alcohol is a little bit different because.
All right. I'll give you that one, Tommy. You get that W.
I affirm the importance of endlessly improving my mental faculties through diligent work, study, and practice.
I wonder what Tate practices. Like, does he study anything?
He's practicing to make sure he has a good grip on that fucking soap. I promise you that.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's be real. This guy, like, he talks about what time does he have to read books and shit like that. He talks about how he's sleeping with all these women and he's driving his car and he's smoking cigars and he's drinking. Like, do you think he just stops like at the end of the day and starts reading a book on like philosophy?
Oh my God. Do you know? See, now it's hitting me. He's in prison.
Yeah.
Like, he's in prison. And it's not the fact of, yeah, he's in prison. It's the fact of, oh, your life is, you have no idea how shitty your life's going to be to the next 5 to 10 years.
No, yeah. Well, if he gets convicted, though. It seems there is a mental wrong wire as he always goes and acts on masculinity. But pizza had okay. So was it?
Prosciutto.
Prosciutto. I can't fucking speak tonight. Prosciutto. Yeah, I guess that's not good for you. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. That's the selling point. Like, you got to realize that he does the can business on the side, and he sells masculinity on the other side. Because honestly, like most people, most young men, and most of the people that watch him are very young men, see him with a fancy car and he's fit and all these beautiful women, and their minds immediately go, "How can I get that?"
Yeah.
And the problem is that if I told them legitimately how they would get that, they would probably say, "Well, that's pretty tough. I would rather just do drop shipping." And then they realize that the courses that Andrew Tate sells are useless, and then they lose all their money, and then they're broke, and they have to they've wasted all their time. I mean, like, realistically, you could just tell people just to exercise and eat right and talk to women outside, and also just get a job and invest in, like, what, a dividend stock or whatever. And that would be kind of it's a high quality food to be tempted. Yeah, I know it's a high quality food. I'm just joking with you.
It's a high quality food. Yeah.
I believe in acquiring wealth and abundance in order to improve my life and do good for those I care about.
Wait, what? Doesn't he have a kid? He has a kid, and like, he has a kid. I've never heard about his kid. Let me see.
He probably denies it's his, so therefore in his head, it's excluded from his list because it's not his kid. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. He has 10 children.
Legitimately, like with DNA tests and stuff?
Yeah, he has 10 children.
Mm.
Anything about it, and there's no information about his family, which I understand. I mean, you don't want people to know about your family, but he's spending all this fucking time doing all this stuff, and where is he hanging out with his kids? Makes you wonder.
I believe in the merits of healthy competition and constantly encourage all men to seek out competition to improve themselves. I believe that masculine brotherhood is essential to men's mental.
Oh, that look on his face. He's either high or he's like really into what he's saying. He looks high, to be honest with you.
No, they're probably drunk.
It could be drunk, yeah. Being drunk, it does give you the glassy eyes.
Health, happiness, and success. And I relentlessly encourage men to meet together, train together, and work together. I maintain the trust of my brothers through reverent silence regarding our most sacred and shared experiences.
the fuck are you in a secret society, or are you like just have friends? Like, okay.
I believe in honoring my ancestors and living in a way that would make most of them proud of me today.
So scamming women, opening a smut business.
Oh my god, how long is this? Like, his voice is so horrible.
To administer difficult rites of passage for our young men to allow them to earn the rank of manhood.
He wants to bring back tribalism, where you have to go through like a trial to be considered a man. Like,
yeah, Jasmina's right. A real man does not need to mention it all the time. Exactly.
Joking again. A real man does not. Yeah, like he really does mention it a lot.
I affirm the importance and need for travel and adventure as men. I seek to help men overcome poor mental health through embracing hard work, physical improvements, and shared masculine brotherhood.
Mental health is not usually worked out that way, bro. It's not that easy. Some people have things where they have to go to a psychologist. They can't just be like, let's lift some weights and we're done.
Mm-hmm.
I reserve the right to make the best choices I can at the time to protect myself and respect my mental health. I do good in the world and seek to help those less fortunate.
Wait, I think we get the idea. We don't have to listen to the rest. Okay.
I mean, he's doing is repeating himself, but with fancier words.
Yeah, it's
men. Real men aren't on YouTube telling you how to abuse women.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really fucking pathetic. So yeah, I think what the person said.
Dad figure. He does have a dad. His dad was like a chess champion. Like he was really good and stuff.
But he was out of the home a lot to pursue being a chess champion.
Yes, to support the family because you win money for that competition. But I don't know. You would think he has 10 kids. I'm pretty sure he has one daughter. I don't know, holding your daughter in your arms and looking down at her going, I do not want to ever have my daughter date a man like me would change a guy.
You know what I think is my main problem is that like a lot of these men that look up to him, you're looking up to a guy who doesn't follow his own tenets. He basically gets in there and he says that like to be a masculine man, you have to, you got to be with a virtuous woman and you got to be honest and all this stuff. And he's not honest. He's not honest with his dealings. He makes his money really fucked up. I don't care. I mean, like, listen, it's alleged that he's a sex trafficker. I get it. He's going to have a trial. I get it. I'm kind of leaning on he's guilty in my head, but that's because I'm very biased, and I'll admit it. I'm very biased against this individual. I think he's scammed a lot of people, and I think eventually when you screw over enough people, things catch up to you. Think about all the lives he's fucked over, all the women's lives he's fucked over, all the men who were typing and talking to them in the cams that gave up their money for false promises for intimacy, the false promise of intimacy. Think about all the fucked up things, the people he dealt drugs to. I mean, come on. And this guy's being treated like he's a legitimate businessman who doesn't even understand drop shipping, and he gives like the worst advice. It's just like this guy is, and then people are like, well, he says some mean things to feminists. Okay, well, you know what? Listen, in the end of the day, I mean, like you could say mean things, but like you got to look at the man's life. Is he practicing what he's preaching? If he's not, then don't follow him. But yeah, I think he's got some major problems. These statements are going to probably be a problem for him in court. But I don't know if he's going to be guilty or not. He might have a very good lawyer, and he might might get out. Who knows? But yeah, I'm kind of leaning he's kind of guilty, but we'll see in the trial. Hopefully, we get a trial and we actually see what happens there. But we're going to need someone from Romania, so we might need to recruit someone from Romania to go into the courtroom. He has 5 wives. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh, good Lord.
Yes, because he sleeps with every woman he has contact with, Ellie. He literally sleeps with every woman. All his employees he sleeps with. All 70 of the women. Eventually, one of those is going to mess up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And this is a guy also kind of foolish because rich men who sleep with a bunch of women, you don't think about one woman might be like saying to themselves, oh, this guy's got a lot of money. Maybe I'll get pregnant. Very stupid, rich, stupid guy. Very stupid guy. Not thinking. Send BHB and Dolly to Romania. I mean, They might go if they could get the views, but I think they probably would. Could they
I've been
arrest?
watching a lot of burnt toast. Burnt toast. I like burnt toast. I've been watching a lot of her videos on Blowhorn Betty, and she
Yeah.
actually has some points. Burnt toast and Jules Tells.
Yeah.
Those are two good content creators y'all should follow.
Yeah, burnt toast is good. But the only thing is that she scarred me with the picture of Bullhorn's Betty's ass because she had to put that picture up. So
Ew.
yeah. But anyway, is there anything else you want to add, or are we done?
I think we're good for tonight. Andrew Tate is a dirtbag. I hope he gets life, even though he's not going to get life. We'll be realistic. I'll be happy if he just gets 10 years. And yeah, and I hope some of the women that are out there that were affected by, Tate, they get some comfort. It's their stories, and if they want to share them, I hope people be respectful and not like that asshat that was there, trying to downplay the woman's story.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's unfortunate that a young man like that is very confused. Like, he doesn't quite understand that you have to say to yourself, this man has been accused of essaying women 3 times in 2 different countries, of trafficking, all these crimes. Eventually, you're gonna, you could say don't believe the woman constantly, but eventually you have to say to yourself, well, why is all these accusations keep on coming up to this guy? And
they're not that smart.
Yeah, come on.
There's actual videos out there you can find of Tate abusing 2 women. 2 different women, 2 different times, 2 different, situations.
Well, the first
but
time
that's
was,
not enough.
Yeah, the first time was consensual. The second time, I don't know if it was consensual or not. I thought that was a little weird. But anyway, that's it. You guys have a good one. See you Thursday.
You guys have a good one. Y'all keep safe, and we'll see you in a day or 2.